नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल दोस्तों। स्वागत है आपका एक बार फिर से हमारे YouTube चैनल ब्रास फ्यूजन्स पर, जहां आज हम आपके लिए लेकर आए हैं एक नया लेसन।
Start now. 43 has joined. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we were discussing regarding we have covered the definition of the company, then the salient features of 2013 and 1956 Act, then evolutionary perspective of the company law, as well as we discussed regarding the advantages. Yes, thank you, Aishi. Thank you. Discuss the advantages of the company, right? What are the advantages we can achieve by forming the... Yes, Prashant, every time I can see you are presenting, you are going on presenting your screen. Is it your problem with your phone, Prashant? You please switch on your video.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Last time also I noticed.
Yes, ma'am.
Once it's okay, but every time if it happens, then you have to check your phone connection or something. Yes, thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. So, with regard to the... Yes, thank you, dear students. Thank you for wishing me, Happy Teachers' Day. Thank you. Yes, feeling a kind of teacher only because of you people. And Prashant has given me, to get annoyed. है ना प्रशांत? है ना, जैसे स्कूल में टीचर को भी गुस्सा आ जाता था ना? गया प्रशांत. ओके.
एक्चुअली मैम उसका लगता है ना फोन ही खराब है मैम.
अच्छा,
बिकॉज आपकी क्लास में नहीं, सबके क्लास में ही ऐसे होता है.
अरे तो फिर उनको हेल्प करना चाहिए. फिर देखो उनका फोन का क्या प्रॉब्लम है.
गिफ्ट कर दे क्या मैम?
नहीं तो फिर हम उनको ना एक नया फोन लेके देंगे फिर, अगर इतना प्रॉब्लम है उनके फोन का. मैंने पिछले बार भी देखा था उनके क्लास में हो रहा ना, तभी तो.
यस मैम, यस मैम.
अच्छा चलो ठीक है. तो आज कुछ टीचर्स डे का सेलिब्रेशन है कि नहीं? अभी अगर कॉलेज होता तो होता ना, वर्चुअल सेलिब्रेशंस कर रहे हैं आप लोग?
क्या मैम? क्या मैम?
वर्चुअल टीचर्स डे सेलिब्रेशन कर रहे हो सब टीचर्स को बुला के? नहीं ना, वो सब स्कूल में होता है ना ये सब चीजें.
नहीं मैम, यहाँ भी हो जाता, बट कोई तैयारी नहीं है, सब लोग बिजी है क्लास लेने में. तो फिर
ये वर्चुअली अभी पुराने वहां से वर्चुअली आज है टीचर्स डे सेलिब्रेशन. वर्चुअली मेरे को लग रहा है कि ज्यादा इजी है करने के लिए देन द फिजिकली. एक लिंक दो. हाँ ईशी बताओ.
मैम आपका एक सॉन्ग डेडिकेट कर सकते हैं?
हाँ हाँ श्योर
मैम, बस 2 लाइंस.
हाँ ठीक है.
एक्सक्यूज मी. हेलो मैम.
हेलो
मैम, ये आज पढ़ाने की जिद ना करो,
वाह.
यूं ही बैठे देखते रहो, आज पढ़ाने की जिद ना करो.
ठीक है मैम, छुट्टी कर
वाह
दीजिए.
वाह वाह, क्या क्या बात है.
अच्छा था.
वैसे मैं भी बोलूं?
थैंक यू.
मैं भी बोलूं? आज
Yes,
तो पढ़ाने का मन तो नहीं. है ना?
यस मैम. तो मैम रहने देते.
थैंक यू आयुषी, थैंक यू. और कोई कुछ कहना चाहते हैं? नहीं. हाँ, थैंक यू, थैंक यू. और कोई? अब कितने जने अभी लाइन पर हो गए? कितने जने सिर्फ वो ऑन करके गायब हो गए? मेरे को ना हमेशा ऐसे लगता है, मन में ऐसे ना एक फीलिंग आ जाती है कि बहुत सारे लोग आके ज्वाइनिंग रख के फिर नहीं रहते करके. अनिमेश है? अनिमेश, अनुज,
Yes, ma'am. Happy Teachers Day.
Thank you, Animesh. Atul bhi hai.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Archana.
Yes, ma'am. Happy Teachers Day.
Thank you, Archana. Thank you. देखो ये सब जो है ना फिजिकल क्लासरूम और वर्चुअल क्लासरूम में ये सब बहुत चेंजेस हो गया है ना। और टीचर्स होना तो यही एक फील है कि बच्चों के साथ हमेशा रहना और फिर पढ़ाने के साथ साथ पढ़ना। आकांक्षा,
Yes, ma'am.
you want to say something? आकांक्षा,
सॉरी मैम,
क्यों सॉरी बोल रही हो?
वो गलती से मेरा कमेंट हो गया।
इसमें क्या बात है? कोई बात नहीं।
वो गलती से म्यूट कर दिया था।
अच्छा ठीक है।
हैप्पी टीचर्स डे मैम।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
मैम वैसे एक बात बताएं मैम आप बहुत फैमिलियर और फ्रेंडली नेचर को इसलिए इंटरेक्ट करने बहुत अच्छा लगता है क्लास वगैरह।
अच्छा,
आई थिंक यस मैम, टीचर्स डे के दिन ये तो है, मैं साफ साफ कह सकता हूँ।
थैंक यू सो मच।
यस मैम।
थोड़ा मेरे को वही अच्छा लगता है ना कि नहीं तो फिर ऐसे आके पूरा लेक्चर दे के जाना थोड़ा सा। अभी तो वर्चुअली में थोड़ा कोशिश करती हूँ कि कैसे हो सकता है।
यस मैम।
यस। तो चलो एनीवे, आयुषी ने तो बहुत अच्छा गाना सब डेडिकेट किया और बहुत अच्छा लगा, है ना। तो अब आज तो वैसे खास तो नहीं पढ़ा रही हूँ, लेकिन कुछ जो बचा था, जो डिसएडवांटेज जो है कंपनी को लेके, दैट वी विल डिस्कस। ठीक है। एंड यू नो आई ऑलवेज प्रिफर बायलैंग्वेज बिकॉज यू नो लास्ट इसमें जो मैंने आपसे ओपिनियन, व्हेन आई आस्क्ड फॉर द ओपिनियन, सो आई गॉट a response saying that it will be good if I you know not use the bilingual. But I don't know, it has become, I think that we should have both, you know, English as well as Hindi or any other. I know other languages also. So even Tamil or Konkani also I can speak. So I think, you know, for getting the feel of the students, so it's like we are living in unity in diversity, na? So it comes automatically, but so I will try to avoid more, you know, bilingual, but it has become my habit to use Hindi as well. Okay. So excuse me for that if I'm using Hindi language also in between, just to get that you know everybody understands what I say. So that's why I use this bilingual. So
Ma'am, ma'am,
yes,
happy
yes.
Teachers Day, ma'am.
Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you, thank you. Anybody else want to wish or to say something? If anybody wants to share any of your views, I think that sometimes among you also some teachers will be there, if I'm not wrong, because earlier in my classes there used to be teachers as well as students.
Yes, ma'am. Happy Teachers Day to you.
Yes. Thank you, Aman. So if there are any teachers or if anybody wants to say something,
मैम
you know.
एक बार सब लोग माइक ऑन करके सब लोग एक साथ विश करते हैं मैम, जैसे कि कॉलेज में करते हैं। एक बार सब लोग माइक ऑन करके सब लोग विश करेंगे मैम।
ठीक है।
सब ऑन कर लो भाई। और मैं 3 तक काउंट करूंगा, फिर सब लोग बोलेंगे एक साथ।
ठीक है।
कर लो एक बार, क्या हो गया? हो गया वो एक, हाँ 1 2 and 3
Happy
Teachers Day.
Happy Teachers Day, ma'am.
Thank you very much each one of you, and God bless you all.
मैम पूरा फ्लड हो गया, मैंने बहुत ज्यादा एक बार।
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, God bless you all. Yes. Yes, indeed, it's really, अच्छा feel लगा मेरे को सबने किया. So yes. So coming to the disadvantages. So we discussed about the advantages of the companies. Now coming to the disadvantage, like for every bad there will be some good that is going to happen. For every good, sometimes there is a possibility of going through some bad situations as well. So both are part of it, right? Even in our life also, both are part. Now we are going through the corona situations, and there are a lot of cases increasing. But still, if you see, all of you will agree that your workload has increased. You are also stressed with your studies, or if you are doing some other occupation, that also has become an everything. We are going through a certain kind of things, but still we are trying to find the positivity in whatever we are doing. So similar is the case with the companies as well. Once the company decides to open its platform, or once it opens to accept from the public, then they become very responsible. If you are taking even a single rupee from the government, then you are answerable to the government to see under what capacity or how you are able to repay it. So the advantage is that, of course, you can collect the amount or collect the investment from the public through the investments, or through issue of the shares, or by bond, various means of capital generation. And the company is also enjoying its independent corporate existence. But the disadvantage is, first, the same independent corporate existence become its burden. Why it is burden? Because sometimes it will be lifted to see who are all the persons behind it. That is known as the concept of lifting of corporate will. I will be teaching you, it is a separate aspect of lifting. What do you mean by lifting of corporate will? I will just type it in the chat box, lifting of corporate will. Lifting of corporate will. Okay, so this lifting of corporate will signifies that even if the company is having the separate existence, that does not mean that a company can do whatever it wish. It's not that it is purely independent. So sometimes, whether that company is a fraud company, or whether it is only a sham, or if for the name's sake that company is formed or incorporated, for all these aspects, the corporate wheel. So it is actually, the corporate wheel means the shield or the protection cover that is there for the company. So whoever is working behind the company is not seen by the outsiders, right? We know the name of the companies, or one or two persons who are associated with it, but how much struggle, or how much, or who are all the actual working people? Yes, Parda. Who are all the working people behind the screen? We don't know. So what happens is that we have to lift that parda, or lift the wheel, to see who is behind it. So once it is seen, then the advantage of independent corporate existence will not longer be available. Okay, and the company will become responsible for the acts it has done. So it is a disadvantage at any time. At the same time, if you see the case of the sole trader or the partnership, more than the partnership name, the persons will be known to you. The persons associated with the partnership or the sole trader will be known to you. If you go and purchase the grocery from the nearby shop, you know the shopkeeper's name or the shop, but it is not required that you know the name of that shop. It will be written there, but it's not that you might have seen. It is not required, and it will be known as वो जो उनका मालिक है उनका नाम से, मतलब फॉर एग्जाम्पल अग्रवाल इज देयर, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स अ ब्रांड नेम नाउ, अदरवाइज अग्रवाल की दुकान or puja store, like this. Many a times the person, whoever the name that the person who has found that shop, through his name, the shop will be known. So, but there is no need for lifting of the corporate veil. So this is actually a disadvantage. You got the point? The independent corporate existence will become disadvantage because that is not something which is permanent. It can be raised or it can be lifted at any time. Then the second disadvantage is the formality and expense. You might have seen the company executives. You know, they have to go through a lot of formalities. The way you dress, if you are a company executive, the way you have to, show the outside world how you. So similar with the case of the company as well. So the formation, lot of expenses are there. The infrastructure, then the post type of thing. So because then only people will also get attracted, right? So the expenses and the formalities to incorporate a company is huge compared to a sole trader or a partnership. It's not that much cost, huge cost or huge expenses need to be invested for the formation and incorporation of the company. Though the formalities has tried to be reduced in 2013, then also it is not same. So formality and expense is the second disadvantage. Then the third disadvantage is the loss of privacy. What does it indicate? Loss of privacy. Once you are in the public, then you are providing a public to, you know, to go through. That is, you lost your privacy. You lost your privacy. Suppose if you post something in your Facebook post, then whatever the comments you are receiving for the same, you yourself is responsible. Okay, and if you find that it is something you are not liking or not, you can remove that post, or you can ask that person why you have done. But still, it's not that you can say that there is a loss of my privacy, because you yourself went to the public to disclose what you are doing or what you are not doing or what are your achievements. So that's what you are giving the permission. So the company also, once it is registered or incorporated, and when it comes to the public domain, then they becomes accessible. They are accessible to the public, and the public can criticize the decisions that they are taking, or they can suggest, and of course they have to always go through the auditing process. They have to public their audit. Then the accounting standard, that means accountability and transparency should be there, and so the company will lose its privacy. Now again, since we are saying that it is not a citizen, or if we come to the right of privacy that is given to the person under the fundamental rights, again, whether the company can also seek the protection under the fundamental rights for the right to privacy, it's not, because they are taking the investment, or they are raising their fund from the public. Once you are raising the fund from the public, then you are accountable to the public when they ask where you have invested our money. Why are you investing the money to something else? You are saying that you are going to do some construction work, but now you are going to invest or divert that construction work to some other thing. So like this, if you are losing your right to privacy as well. So this is again the disadvantage. Then the concept of corporate governance. What is this corporate governance signifies? I told you in 2013 legislation, the concept of corporate governance has been introduced. But the same advantage becomes disadvantage, because what the directors will be doing, or what the directors are doing behind the scene, is really different, because they will be looking after their own personal benefits than the company. So it's not that corporate governance will clear whatever the debts are there for the company. Hence, this corporate governance also becomes sometimes disadvantage for the company. So all these aspects, that means relating to the management as well as the corporate governance principle, will sometimes result in disadvantages for the company. So in short, we can say that whatever the advantages the company was enjoying. That advantages will also result in the disadvantages sometimes. And to name the few, it starts with the lifting of corporate wheel, then the formality and expenses, then there is a loss of privacy, then the corporate governance principle, as well as the management. This happens to be the disadvantages while you are forming a company, depending upon if you compare with the sole trader or with the partnership firm. So what we can say is that the advantage or disadvantage of the company always depends upon the nature of incorporation and the nature of the business that the firm or the company does. And if it is a large trading organization, then the formalities as well as the expenses that is required for this large trading organizations are huge, as well as the accountability is also very high. Then at the same time, there is a requirement for the division of uh, responsibility between the board and the shareholders. So this responsibility, if not maintained in the prescribed manner, that will result in disadvantage position as well. So it is not that it is not free from any disadvantages. It is also having advantage as well as the disadvantage. In the next class we will go through the different types of companies. So with this in the first unit, so I will share you the the important aspects as well as the legislation of the Companies Act in the notes, that is sharing of the documents column. Next week I will try to upload the things. So far we have covered the first unit, first part, and next class we will discuss the different types of company, and we will start discussing the case laws starting from the Solomon versus Solomon and Company Limited. So what is the theoretical perspective that you have to keep in your mind very accurate is that a company is an artificial legal entity, or what is the other word which you have used, juristic person, that has been created and that has been recognized under the Companies Act as well, under section 2 subclause 20. Section 2 subclause 11 says about the difference between a corporation and a company. And other aspect is that how otherwise we can describe or define a company. It is an association of the persons who are organizing with a common object of doing the business, but it may be profit or for some other means as well, like the charitable companies provided under section 8 and the different other types of companies as well. Then it differs from the partnership firm in many aspects, as well as from the sole trader and the limited liability partnership, which has similar with the private company that has been formed. It is full of advantage like the independent corporate existence, limited liability perspective is there, separate property is there, then the transferability of the shares, capability to sue and being sued is there, management and finances are there. All like these advantages are there, but however they are also having certain disadvantage, starting from the lifting of the corporate wheel, then for the formality and the expense is huge, as well as there will be loss of privacy, and the corporate governance principles, though it is introduced in a positive way, it may result in the negative way, because for taking an action or for taking a decision, every partners or every there should be consensus among the board of directors and the shareholder. And sometimes if it is something urgent also, if there is provided under the articles, sometimes it will result in the disadvantage position if there is no unity among the board of directors to arrive at a decision that is advantageous for the company. So that may result in disadvantage. So that's all today. We and next class we will go with the different types of companies. Okay, so let me quickly take your attendance.
दोस्तों, अगर आपको आज का लेसन पसंद आया हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करें, इसी के साथ अगर आपने अभी तक हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सब्सक्राइब के बटन पर क्लिक करिए और बेल आइकन दबाना ना भूलें, ताकि आपको एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड नए नए अपडेट्स मिलते रहें। और अधिक जानकारी पाने के लिए आप हमारे फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम पेज से भी जुड़ सकते हैं, जिसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दिया गया है। धन्यवाद।